Hello, I'm David Novak, and we are going to dissect this mink. But first, I'll describe myself for a second. My name is David Novak, and I joined AMP because I like to dissect stuff.
My name is Tyler Poole. I went in here because most of my friends are taking the class, and I like the medical field.
And the guy working the camera is Christian Lucas, and I joined ANP for the reasons.
We got a mink here. Some interesting facts. The fact that it lives in forested areas near water. That's pretty interesting. Tyler, what are your opinions?
Well, I think it's really interesting too. These things eat snakes, rabbits, birds, amphibians, and of the sort. What about you, Christian?
Well, an interesting fact about the mink is that you can't tell in this poor little guy right here, but its tail is actually the majority of its body. It just doesn't appear this way with this little guy.
Check with the mink here, and we are going to show you the organs, so take notes. The first organ I'll show you is the trachea. This rib thing, this is the trachea. And underneath the trachea will be our next organ, the esophagus. That's used for breathing. No, it's not. It's used for eating. I lied.
The esophagus takes food down once you eat it.
The trachea is used for breathing.
Yep, the esophagus carries food down to the stomach.
That should be lungs.
The lungs are in the rib cage, so these are the lungs. These two things right here, used for breathing, like the trachea, used for breathing. Next organ is the heart. It is right here.
Pumps blood throughout the body.
It is a very useful organ.
Yeah, only a little bit.
Only a little
You
bit.
die without it.
Yeah,
But it's
no big deal.
no big deal.
No big deal.
Diaphragm is right here. This little area right here. All this nice and meaty stuff right there. That's the diaphragm. Liver. Here's one side of the liver, the right side liver, and here is the left side liver. If you can see that, children, right there. And the gallbladder is, let me dig through here a little bit, is like this deflated balloon looking thing. You can see it like right there. Stomach is right here. It is also used for eating. Right there.
Digest food.
Digest food.
Thank you.
Pancreas is right here. Here's the pancreas, the nice tasty pancreas right there. This is the small intestine.
Large intestine's that one thing Gabe was saying.
Small intestine, and the large intestine is right here, which leads to the rectum,
Which excretes poop.
Feces.
to point out some muscles to you today. So right here, in these areas, we have the external obliques. External obliques, right here. And then right here is what, Christian?
The rectus abdominis.
And moving to the chest muscles, we have what?
Pectoralis, which is two chest muscles. Right here, I think it's all right in here on this part of the meat.
Sternomastoid right here. This muscle right here. And here we have what is it? The clavotrapezius,
which is
like all this
back in here.
more like a neck muscle.
It's
like
a pretty decent sized muscle. It comes from like right here, back in here and stuff.
And then moving to the head, we have the temporal muscle right here. It's more on the upper part of the head.
It's on top and then right back here. Basically right in front of the clavotrapezius, and it covers the top, basically the entire top part of the head.
And then down here we have, what is it?
Masseter.
The masseter.
Which is a muscle by like the jaw, which I'm assuming helps it open and stuff.
Muscles of the back and the shoulder. Okay, so right here, in this general area, is what muscle, Tyler?
Acromyotrapezius.
That's right, that muscle right there. And right behind that muscle is what? Tyler?
The spinotrapezius.
The spinotrapezius, you are correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
And all in that general area. And right below the acromyotrapezius is what, Christian?
Well, If you want to be specific, there are multiple muscles beneath the acromion trapezius.
But we went
But
over
the one we are looking at is the omotrachleon, which is about this general area by the shoulder of the mink.
Used for a lot of good things.
Shoulder moves the arm.
Starting off, we have the muscle on top of the upper arm, known as the biceps. And going down the muscles of the forearm, we have triceps. And triceps are separated into 3 different muscle categories. And Christian will tell you those 3.
Alright, well, each of the 3 begin off with the word caput, but I'm not entirely sure what that is supposed to mean. Each 3 are of different sizes. The first one being caput mediale of the tricep. It's a muscle about right in this area. One part of the tricep. Then the smallest part of the tricep, which is caput laterale, which is a really small one up in this region by the base of the arm. And then the last one is caput longum of the tricep, and that's more down in here on the bottom side of the arm. And that
Concludes the upper arm. Starting off, we'll have this muscle right here. It's called the digitorum. It's more in like the wrist area, right about there. And what is our next muscle, Christian?
the flexor carpi radialis, which is down this way and around this general region right in here towards the, well, it's more in this area because in the diagram they make the mink look really jacked, so it's more in this area. And then our next muscle is the pronator teres, which is a more elongated muscle within the forearm. It stretches out from around this general area to this general area, next to farther out towards this way, towards the arm from the radialis. And then the last one, close to the elbow, is the flexor carpi ulnaris, which I'm assuming is a bone connected to the ulna of the mink. And it's around this general region right in here, and it goes around from around that general area.
Alright, so now we're going to start pointing out the muscles of the thigh and the hip.
Yep.
So Tyler will point out the first 2 muscles we will demonstrate now, starting here.
That one is the sartorius.
Very nice. And on the inside of the thigh is what?
The gracilis.
It's a very, very nice sartorius and the gracilis right there. And Christian will explain to you the more complex muscles of the thighs and hip.
Well, I don't know about complex, but you have 4 smaller, relatively smaller muscles within the thigh and inner thigh that are, basically this general area right here. You have 3 thin ones, one which is the ellipsois, and right next to it's the pectineus, crazy word, and then right inside of that one is the adductor longus. And then right next to the adductor longus, you have one that goes out about this way, really on the inner part of the thigh. That is called the adductor femoris, which is bigger than the 3 right here, and it takes up a bigger region of the thigh.
Talk about the muscles of the lower leg and shank. So to begin with, we have the tibulus anterior in this general area, and behind it, Bob will tell you what is going on back there.
Well, right here you got the gastrocnemius, and then to the left you got the soleus.
It's right on that ankle kind of area.
And the gastrocnemius is basically the calf of the mink.
And then the last one we have is the peroneus longus, which is in this area, is in between the tibulus anterior and the gastrocnemius in this area, all making up that leg.
Along with 2 other muscles. Alright, so I'm going to pull a cookie and be like, so we're going to explain to you about the heart today. And, alright, on a more serious note, Alright, so this is Mink's heart. You know, it's right here. You see there, right, Mink's heart. And right here is the left atrium. The other side of it right here is this big darker part of the heart is the right atrium. And then beneath the right atrium down here is the right ventricle. And then the opposite side over here is the left ventricle. Now that we have explained where these parts are, we will now explain how blood travels throughout the body and heart. The body. Well, it comes from the, I believe, pulmonary artery. No, just kidding. Alright, well, it travels through veins back to the right atrium, which is over here. And then from the right atrium, it goes to the right ventricle down here. Then it goes through the pulmonary artery to the lungs, which they gas exchange and switch out the blood with oxygen and carbon dioxide and all that good stuff. From the lungs, it travels back into the left atrium over here. Well, yeah. But first, before it gets to travel back to the left atrium, it travels through the pulmonary veins from the lungs to the left atrium. Then from the left atrium, it travels back down to the left ventricle. And then from there, it travels to the aorta and gets pumped throughout the rest of the body. And that's a mink's heart.
Carla. You're gonna say.
So
What am I doing now?
He's using up your phone number.
Oh.
Right atrium. Right ventricle.
Going to talk about the muscles of what area, Christian? The back and the shoulder.
Back and shoulder.
You need me to ask you. Okay, so right here we have what, Tyler?
The acromial-trapezius.
That's right there. In this general area. And right behind it is another muscle called what, Tyler?
The omotracheon.
Oh no, Tyler, that's wrong. The omotracheon. Whatever you just said is right here.
Omotracheon. It's right beneath the acromial-trapezius.
Now, because we got that covered, the spinotrapezius is right behind the acromial-trapezius. In this area.
The spinotrapezius, yes, that is correct. Okay. Right back in here, it is behind the acromial-trapezius. Muscle of the back, that kind of stuff.
Good scalp.